This is gigantic sized Defenders number 5, which was also the final gigantic sized Defenders. After this, they went straight back to calling them annuals, and then the Defenders only ever had one annual. This is written by Stephen Gerber. I think it is the first issue of his run that I am reviewing. And he has, for many people, what is considered to be the best run on the Defenders. But for me, it's only the second best run on the Defenders. This one, it has got the Defenders fighting an alien monster called Elon. That is Elon there. I think he smells as well. He's got like a real musk about him. We start off with some really dark and dreary street level stuff, with some muggers and them mugging some poor hard man. And Stephen Gerber, he was really ahead of the time. This is long before Hank Miller was doing this sort of stuff, like showing the darker side of New Yorkland and its gritty character. Stephen Gerber, he was doing that in the 70s, and he seldom gets credit for it. Then over here we have got 3 of our 4 Defenders, Velcro, the Hulk and Doctor Strange, and they have gone to investigate a weird time continuum fluctuation that Doctor Strange has detected over the harbour. Then they fight some fishies, and Doctor Strange, he is grabbed by our baddie, Elon. Elon is like an evil eel alien man thing. And then over here we get back to the hard man being mugged. And look, he gets stabbed, and this really is ahead of its time. This was 1975, and a good 10 years before this kind of became the norm for comics. Then we are introduced to a new character, or rather someone who is as much as a new character. This is Charlie Man, and he was one of the original Galactical Guardians. The Galactical Guardians, they appeared once in 1968, and that was it. Then before this, they had like a little cameo kind of appearance in another Stephen Gerber story, a Fantastic Force one. Well, this was like their first major appearance since their long forgotten debut. Charlie Man, he intervenes and he tries to save the hard man, and this does a solid job of reintroducing, or as I said, effectively introducing Charlie Man as a character. There is Captain Marbles, the real one, Marvel, selling Twinkies. You never see Captain Marbles, the shit one, Brie Larson's, doing something as selfless as selling Twinkies. And those stupid lesbian women with dyed hair who write a book normally love their food. So Hulk and Velcro, they find Doctor Strange unconscious. And then we have got our other Defender, Batman. And he's not with the others because he needed some time alone. There were a series of recent stories that really shook him as a character. And then he stumbles across a fallen spaceship. And not only that, but this precocious little boy sees it as well. Then we have got this bit with 2 toll booth operators, and the tunnel, it gets flooded by the fight with Elon. And this stuff is really good. Stephen Gerber, he uses the 2 operators as a means to really hammer home how something like this has a very real effect on bystanders. Now, I praise Jim Tomatis' run on the Defenders, but I really think it is imperative to note that his entire run is beholden to Stephen Gerber's. So much of the tone for the book, the characters, the style, is all Stephen Gerber's. The Defenders, they show up to try and stop the tunnel collapsing. Then we have got that little boy from before. His dad threatens to smack him for claiming to see an alien spaceship. Then we see that he is a Captain America fanboy. If you are a Galactical Guardians fan or a New Warriors fan, you already know who this little tyke is going to turn out to be. So he sneaks out of his room to go and prove that he saw a spaceship. Meanwhile, Batman, he investigates and we are introduced to the rest of the Galactical Guardians. Justice, the Captain America fanboy, Michael Rooker, and then Mr. Glass. These ones, sadly, they are not set up or introduced as well as Charlie Man was. In fact, we didn't get to see all that much of these three, but back with the other two plots, the Defenders, they fight Elon, and then Charlie Man, he ends up having to run away from the hospital that he took the hard man to, because they think he looks weird, they're all staring at him, they're suspicious of him. Oakley fighting Elon, and Elon, he is a bit of a generic baddie, but it's good for a single issue. He isn't really meant to be the focus, and he mainly serves as a baddie to drape the rest of the story around. Charlie Man, he sees the Defenders fighting against Elon, and he considers joining in. And then the other Galactical Guardians, they have to go and look for Charlie Man, and they take Batman with them. But then the little boy, he shows up and he confronts Mr. Glass. So the Defenders, they are fighting Elon, and I can't really make it any more exciting than just saying they're fighting Elon again. And then the other Guardians, they show up with Batman, and they team up, and together they are able to stop Elon. And we find out that Elon wasn't the time disruption that Doctor Strange sensed. That was obviously the Galactical Guardians arriving. And Elon is, just by chance, an eel monster who surfaced at the same time. They beat him with a combination of their strength, and we end with the little boy revealing to Mr. Glass that he is the past version of Justice from the Galactical Guardians. A bombshell ending if you didn't know your Marvel history. Then we have got a reprint of Daredevil 62, which was a story by Roger Thomas and John Coleman, and it is notable as a major story for Batman's character. There he is there, that was his original costume. This was when he first stepped out solo, away from the rest of the Justice League, and he tried, or rather he claimed, to be a hero. He ran afoul of Daredevil and they ended up fighting. Here is his origine, and this is an interesting story, and it's of historical note for its use of Batman at least, but it is just a reprint, so I won't go too in depth with it or count it towards the overall rating of this issue. There's Jeff Goldblum though. I think this is a very enjoyable story. Stephen Gerber, he's doing a lot of interesting stuff with the medium and pushing it and its boundaries, while at the same time writing what, on the surface, feel like fairly innocuous Defenders stories. I do think that the other Galactical Guardians, they weren't set up or utilised very well, but this reintroduction of the team led to them getting their own series after this, so maybe I'm completely wrong, and all four of them were used as well as I thought Charlie Man was. Other than that, we have got the Defenders fighting a monster, so I'll rate it 7 thumbs up.